This is Recap to Grade 4. We'll be focusing on NST Term 2's work. This term will be focusing on materials all around us. Everything that surrounds us is made up of different kinds of materials. Materials are anything that is made of matter. Matter takes up space and has mass or weight or amount of something. The properties of solids, liquids, and gases. Solids are hard and stay the same shape or keep their shape. When we move a solid from one place to another, it does not change shape. Liquids. Liquids flow like water flows in a river. Liquids also flow when we pour them from one container to another. Liquids take up the shape of the container they are in. Gases. Gases like air are all around us. Gases spread out and have no definite shape. Gas takes the shape of the container they are in. For example, like in a balloon, a gas held in a container will spread out and take up the space of the container. When we smell foods, when they are cooking, this is the gases from the food when it is being cooked. Changes of state. When materials or matter changes from one form to another, we call this change of state. The states of matter are solids, liquids, and gases. A change of state happens when an ice cube, which is a solid, melts and becomes water, which is a liquid. We change the states of matter by either heating them or cooling them down. Heating material. Heating can change the state of matter. Heating a solid can change it to a liquid. When a solid turns to liquid when heated, it is melting. Further heating changes liquid to a gas. Example, on a hot day, water from the sea will evaporate and form water vapor, which is a gas and you cannot see it. When this water vapor cools, it changes into clouds, which we can see. When a change of state occurs in a substance, it is still the same substance. It is not a new substance. It's just in a different state. Cooling material. When we change a gas to a liquid, we call this process condensation. Example, think of a cold glass of juice and the droplets that form on the outside of the glass, that is water vapor gas, cooling down and forming droplets, which is the liquid, gas into liquid. When we continue to cool a liquid further, it will turn into a solid. We say it is freezing or solidifying. The water cycle. Evaporation. The water cycle is the movement of water from the earth to the clouds and back again. When the water leaves the earth, we call this evaporation. The water on the earth is heated by the sun. It's changed to a gas and we call this water vapor, which rises into the air. Condensation. As it rises, it will cool down and condense, come together into water droplets. It is changing from a gas to a liquid. Precipitation. The droplets together form clouds. The clouds release the water as rain, snow, or hail, which falls back down to earth. We call this precipitation. Then the process of the water cycle begins again. Raw and manufactured material. Although we have learned that materials can be classified as solids, liquids, and gases, we can also separate them into two different groups called raw and manufactured materials. Raw materials, these are natural materials that have not been changed in any way. We get raw materials from living things, non-living things, or from underground. We use raw materials to make useful materials in our lives. Example, wood is a raw material. It comes from trees. We shape wood or different objects in our lives, like doors and tables. Manufactured material. These materials are made from raw materials that have changed in some way by people. Clay is a raw material, and we use it to make ceramics. Ceramics is a hard material that are made from clay. We call it pottery or china. The clay is the raw material, and once shaped and baked, it becomes ceramic. Sand is another raw material that is used to make glass by mixing other materials with it. Sand is heated to high temperatures to melt, and then it is shaped, and once cooled, it is a glass object. Other raw materials that are used to make manufactured materials, coal and oil, which we get from underground, is mixed with other materials to make fabric, paint, and plastic materials. How paper is made. Paper is made from trees and plants. In plant stems, there are fibers, which are string-like pieces. The fibers allow the plant to stand up and make the plant strong. Look at the following steps on how paper is made. Step 1. The tree is chopped down and cut into logs. Step 2. The logs are taken to a factory where they are chopped into thousands of tiny wood chips. Step 3. The tiny wood chips are mixed with water and chemicals and beaten into a machine to make a mixture called pulp. The process is called pulping. The pulp is sent through a heavy roller. As the pulp passes through the rollers, the water is squeezed away. The rollers also press the paper into smooth sheets. The paper comes out of the machine as a giant roll. The rolls of paper are cut into pages and used to make books and many other products. Animal wool and hide. Wool and hide are both raw materials. We use wool to make blankets and jerseys. We get wool from sheep. They have thick coats which farmers shear off them once a year. The wool or fibers are twisted in a machine into long threads of yarn. The yarn can be used to knit items to be woven into fabrics. Leather is a strong material which we get from animal skins or hides. Cow hide, goat hide, and sheep hide are raw materials and they are used to make leather. The hide is treated with chemicals to stop it from rotting and going bad and to remove any fat or muscles that is still joined to the skin. We use leather to make traditional African shields. Properties of materials. All materials look and feel very different. Each of them have what we call properties. Properties are things we look at for an object to identify it and what makes it good to use. We use a raincoat as it is waterproof. Plastic and nylon can be used for wet weather as they are waterproof materials. Other properties that can be identified in materials are soft, hard, flexible, strong, weak, light, heavy, absorbent, and waterproof. Strengthening material. Structures are made from different materials. They need to be strong, otherwise it will break or fall down. There are different ways to strengthen material so the structure is stronger. We can make material stronger by making them in long, thin tubes. A tube is a hollow pipe. We use tubes to make bicycle frames, jungle gyms, climbing frames, and water pipes. We call long, thin tubes that support weight struts. Triangular pillars. Besides struts, it has also been found that triangular pillars are strongest and support weight. When we join struts to make triangles, we make the structure strong and stable. This means it will not fall over easily. Triangles don't change their shape easily when they're pushed or pulled. Therefore, triangles are often used to create firmer structures. Triangles can stop structures from bending out of shape. This formation is called triangulation. Indigenous structures. Many people in South Africa live in traditional houses. These structures are very similar to the ones built by their ancestors. We say these structures are indigenous structures. These structures are made from mud, branches, and grass. Many indigenous traditional homes are triangular shapes and struts to support their weight. Thank you for watching Recapped.